Yeah, of course I'm gonna forget something. It's been give me a break. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done this, so yeah, I've figured I'd do something like that. It's surprising. It's kind of like what, Thomas leaving his train behind and just leaving the station without having the train attached. Which happens in real life more often than you'd think. A locomotive accidentally leaving the train behind. Yeah, so I've got a new Pocket Go. I it is my first emulation handheld. I got a good deal on it. I've never really messed with one of these before. Hopefully it's something useful. I haven't had it really set up yet. If nothing else, it looks cool. What, I got... What, the Sonic... I've got the Sonic the Hedgehog DVD. I don't buy many movies on DVD. And not just because of, you know, the digital revolution. I really just don't buy that many DVDs. Or not many movies I really want to sit down and be able to watch when I want it. But if it's a movie I care about enough, I want to have access to it at all times without having to worry about a subscription or something that's going to be taken off of Netflix. So I got that. I'd like to do a review on it. A simple review, not a super fancy one. So let's go into the game, and I'll continue my... Yeah, so thanks Tofu, Swift Pro, Rio Magnifico, you know, Kalakaboy. No, Kalakaboy's in here yet. I'm just so used to him being here that I just assume he's in chat. But of course, I know definitely I've had a lot of people going out of their way to let me know that they missed the streams. So getting back into this was a high priority for sure. And I'm just glad to be back. I had to upgrade my internet, and I did some test streams using a burner account that I have. Well, not a burner account. It's an account that I made. I made an account so if I use the kind of... Aw, thanks, Tofu. Hug you back. If I use the kind of bots that need a separate account made to run them off of, I made an account for that, and I never really ended up using it, so I just use that for doing test streams, where I do my test pattern. I have on YouTube, actually, I posted a video of my test streams before now. Now, to select which game we're going to be playing, I decided to set up a wheel. Hopefully you're all actually seeing this. I never did this before. I set this up less than a half hour before I went live. So if this isn't working and you can't see it, I'm not too surprised. But what I've done here is I've set up a wheel with all the different genres and minigames that I have unlocked so far. This is wheelofnames.com. It's the most attractive wheel spinning interface that I've found. So let's see which game we're going to... Oh, I have to set for interact. See, I'm totally new at this. So we're going to see which game we'll be playing first. And whatever we do, we're going to play for maybe 15 minutes. Oh. Sci-fi. Yeah, Wu is right. So, let's go back to the game. And that is Dribble and Spitz's category. So, we'll get started. Yeah, I'm gradually increasing my skills. Let's let the intro play out. Because each of these, if you don't know about... Each of the sort of subgenres has different characters it features, and they all have their own kind of backstory as to the context in which they're playing these micro games. And I think Dribbles and Spitzes, and I mean the last time when I first started streaming WarioWare, it was really the first time I'd seen all these cutscenes since playing the game back in 2003. And I'm gonna be streaming so today I'm doing a morning stream. Tomorrow I plan to do an early afternoon stream. No time nailed down. Maybe around noon or 1 or 2. And then the day after tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming at 8 or 9-ish. I just wanted to do a morning, afternoon, evening stream just to test different times of the day and see what kind of results I get and as far as the quality of my connection. It's rock solid so far. These 3 streams are kind of experimental, just to test my new internet connection. Make sure that the material is all actually, you know, properly viewable. Well, actually, yeah, this is the first time I've streamed in a couple of weeks because my last stream was my 13th stream. What I wanted to do was do my first ever 100% playthrough of Sonic on Game Gear, and the stream just went very badly. I mean, I was just about... Well, a meteor didn't hit my house. I did get swatted. Just about everything else that could go wrong went wrong. My microphone somehow ended up going out of sync with the video by like 15 minutes. I was getting maybe Oh, shucks. I was getting maybe 70% lost frames. And then I was... I had the great fortune of... Right as I was about to call it quits because I knew it was not going well, I spilled my water on stream. Because now my water bottle, it's not refrigerated because what happened was all the condensation on the water bottle from it being refrigerated because I wanted a nice cold bottle of water. I mean, it has a nice lid on it that clicks shut, and I thought that would be enough protection against spilling. What I didn't consider was all the condensation forming on the bottle caused it to slip out of my fingers. Then at one point, I think I restarted the game by accident. Is that what happened? I think at one point I restarted the game by accident, and then I spilled the water. And it was like nearly at the end of the game. But I did end up doing my first ever 100% All Chaos Emeralds run of Sonic the Hedgehog. But effectively, it kind of doesn't count because it was so messed up that me getting actually beating the game, it didn't even show up on VOD, and I was blessed with a very significant raid from Pete Dorr, moments away from me calling the stream. So all of a sudden I have a whole bunch of viewers are seeing the jankiest looking garbage stream with like 70% frame dropped, like maybe like more than 70% of the frames are gone. Microphone is I lost that one. The microphone was out of sync, but a bunch of people still followed me. And, you know, I was getting good chat activity. I could at least see my chat properly. So, I was like, okay. I knew I had people that were... I mean, come on. Having a raid of any size is not a bad problem to have. I'm very grateful for it. I'm grateful for the follows, and even, you know, the ones who didn't follow, just having, you know, people just see me for a moment and say hi. I mean, just the fact that I have regulars at this point is more than I would have asked for. So I'm not complaining that I got the stream and it didn't go... I got the raid and it didn't go good. It's just that I wanted to respect the time of the people that wanted to spend time watching my stream. When I say, hey, I'm going to be streaming at such and such time, and people plan their day around it and look forward to it, I want to give them something worth looking at. And I know I had people saying, oh, you know, the drop frames aren't that bad, but they weren't in the stream later on when it got absolutely unacceptable. So I'm like, okay, I'll cool off on the streaming for now, spend some time focusing on YouTube stuff, and if you type in exclamation point videos, you can see my latest videos. I did a video about the Pokemon Direct, and I did a video about something else. I also did a couple of brief videos just saying, hey, thanks for, you know, sticking by with me, and I said I was coming back to doing online video stuff. I wanted Twitch and YouTube to be equal. Yeah, you never know what to expect from WarioWare. Oh yeah, in these modes you do get a life back. Off-duty time. I'm sorry, but if you're off-duty means you're chilling. You shouldn't be having to fuel up your vehicle while you're off-duty. But, whatever. Aww. I feel so bad dropping the trap on that guy. He's like, oh, I've lost my freedom. I'm so sad. Because he's so cute, and he just sort of just... Alright, what's going on here? Alright. Unimportant. I am waiting for a package that I do need to sign for. So if the package shows up while I'm live, I'll just cut to my hold screen for a moment while I sign for the package. It should only take a moment. I actually did get a new pair of shoes. I went to... Well, earlier today I got it in a package, because I went to the mall a few days ago, for the first time since this virus mess started. And I was like, oh, well, let me go to the mall. I do need new shoes. The ones I have are pretty beat up. And I went to the mall, and I just saw how crowded it was. I didn't even go inside the mall. I just saw the parking lot, and I'm like, yeah, I think I will opt for the online option. Oh, I ran out of ammo. I forgot that you have limited ammo in that microgame. Okay. Yeah, the genre-based games kind of mix in some of the basic minigames from like that first introductory stage. Now, if the... In that game, there's no limit to your shots, but if you shoot something more than once, it actually unflips it. So if you only have one target to hit, and you accidentally hit something else first, it will go back and make you have to hit the... It makes more work for yourself, pretty much, and you can end up losing because of that. I don't think I've gone back and played through this. So just by virtue of when you play through these microgames initially, each stage you only have to beat the boss once. And once you beat the boss once... Oh, shucks. Yeah, once you beat the boss one time, it counts you clear the stage and you just move on to the next part of the game in sequence. There we go. And since you don't get the chance to play past the first boss, anything past the first boss was already a high score for this. Your high score is counted in terms of how many points you get. Each time you beat a microgame, including the boss stages, you get a point. And the boss here is this this vertical shooter. And so, yeah, so this stream and the next two are kind of experimental. That's why I didn't... Yeah, that's a lot of... That has to do with why I didn't really announce plans for it. Oh, shucks. Okay, so that's a nice even high score to go for, at least 50. Now, if I am playing, if the timer goes off for my time limit, I'm going to play through until I get a game over in what I'm currently playing. So yeah, I didn't know exactly when I'd have a chance to upgrade the internet, so I also didn't plan it from that aspect. So today, tomorrow, and the next day, morning, afternoon, and evening streams, and they're all going to be games I've already played before. So that way, if the stream doesn't go well, or if I have a lot of problems, I don't have to worry about losing my first experience with a game on stream to having, you know, the game not go well. Because there are a lot of other games I probably would have taken a swing at by now. I do want to take a chance at, you know, just experiment with maybe doing some more something like Paper Mario, which I played through about half of back in the day. Well, I rented it a couple of times. I got about nearly halfway through at the most. Then in then on the Wii Virtual Console, I got through about half, about maybe 60 or 70% through. And for whatever reason, I just lost interest. But I do know the first half of the game pretty well, even though I haven't played Paper Mario since maybe 2008 or 9 at this point. So I'd like to maybe see how it goes streaming some longer games. And as far as YouTube goes, yeah, I did wander off that topic. I do have a couple of videos ready. Well, I have two videos ready. One's a repost of a video that I made off of YouTube back in 2011 or 12. And I'll post that soon, a couple of weeks down the line. I sort of made a version for YouTube where I talked a bit at the beginning about a commentary on how I felt going back on it, because I made the video for a project in college originally. And so for that reason and some practical reasons, I ended up never posting it to YouTube. I made a video linking to it on the other site that I posted it on, but I never actually posted it on YouTube. But I feel confident in doing so now. And plus, it happens to be somewhat relevant to current events. I made another video that I've filmed and have edited that's about current events, and that being the case, it's not a very happy video. And so even though I have that video ready, I want to wait till I have something a little more lighthearted to go along with it. So I'd probably post the, it's a video related to gaming stuff. So I'd like to finish editing that video, and this video is one of the more ambitious projects, things I've ever edited together. And so you'll see that when it goes up over my YouTube. My YouTube is GGuru1, it's not Super Train Station H, because I made my YouTube or Google accounts or whatever before I started using the Super Train Station H moniker, which basically means I did actually make all that stuff back in 2006. And like when I got into Gmail, which I guess was the beginning, the first time I ever had a Google account, it was back when I was one of the first people to get a Gmail account after the invite-only period, where Gmail was like this really highly prestigious email service where you had to get an invite to get into it. I don't know, it's funny how Gmail is just considered such a professional and prestigious email address to use for professional purposes. Like, what is this, a little nucleus leaving its cell? Like, what is this indescribable object? I mean, I don't mind it. It looks cool. It goes with the simple style. Something about the film strip motif here reminds me of the interface for some of the stuff in Game Boy Camera. It reminds me of, what was it called? That little there was a mini game called Space Fever 2. And Space Fever 2 is actually referencing a arcade game from the 70s called Space Fever that Nintendo made. I think it was just some kind of Space Invaders clone. And you don't hear people talking about it much. It's one of those really forgotten Nintendo games, along with Sheriff. Sheriff's only the Sheriff mini-game, like the Wario version of Sheriff in this game, is probably one of the only references to Nintendo Sheriff since the original arcade cabinet. I just love, there's something about that ninja character where he's always looking off to the side. Oh, you got two minigames starring him at once. Okay, I almost didn't make that one. I was only frames away from getting in on time for that. It's just really kind of daunting getting back into this and thinking, okay, there's a better part of 10 years worth of... Shucks. The better part of 10 years worth of YouTube videos I wanted to make but never did. In addition to all the new stuff I'd want to do, like what do I do first? What do I have the means to do first? You have to be careful, that's the one that you have the limited ammo. Okay. Now what I'm hoping to do is to be able to hang on long enough. Okay, so once... Ooh! Okay, so once we get a game over here, we're gonna spin the wheel again and see what we play next. Oh, I forgot. I don't think I got that game before, so it took me a second to like, wait, am I playing... What am I playing as? Oh, I feel so much safer doing that without the condensation all over it. And also, you know, I keep my bottle on a coaster, but now that there's not all the condensation... Oh, shucks. Now that there's not all that condensation, I don't have to really worry about using a coaster. Because the reason I had the coaster was because I use a mouse pad. Get rid of the coaster there. I use a magazine as a coaster, so when I had the bottle that was cold and dripping with condensation, it was risking damaging the magazine with water damage. And I have an optical mouse. The reason I use a mouse pad is because, for some reason, the laser on my digital mouse... Wow. That stinks. Okay, so... that was a genuine loss, but it coincides with, Alright, so we got second place. We set a new high score. So let's go back to the wheel. And there's no music here. Need music. That's better. I didn't realize the music wasn't playing before. Alright, so interact and we spin. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what we play next. Ooh, thrilling mix. That is, I think, the fast mode, where you're playing like you start on hard pretty much. Oh yeah. Oh, and you only have one life, so yeah, we're gonna be. You have one life. It starts you off hard, and you have one life. High score, 1 point. Let's see if we can get a PB next time. Let's go for it. Okay, that was tricky. Okay, this is no joke. This is not easy. Alright. Okay, I didn't realize... Okay, that did not last long. I did not realize... When it's Mario Brothers, and I'm playing... It's a Mario Brothers, so I immediately looked to Mario. I didn't realize I was playing as Wario. So... What? How is that not... Okay. That's some butt. How is that not a shot? Type X. There we go. Oh. Oh, this is no joke. This is gonna kick my butt around a little bit. I don't even think I've encountered that microgame before. Type 3. Yep, the family computer keyboard that never came out in North America. And it's funny because I actually got to see it at Nintendo World. They had it on display years ago. Well, I first read about this in Game Over by David Sheff, which, I mean, a lot of the anecdotal stories in Game Over by David Sheff have been discredited at this point, but it was one of the first books you could read, one of the earliest books about Nintendo history, especially the pre-NES stuff. I mean, reading that before Nintendo history was, you could just go on a wiki page or a fan site and read it. Game Over was really the only source for a lot of this information. Oh, wasn't fast enough, my goodness. So, but it was the first place I learned about the Nintendo video system, or the Nintendo home computer system, or whatever, where they were so paranoid about the stigma of home video game consoles after the North American game crash. Oh, we lost already. That they were basically trying to market the Famicom, well, which was called, short for Family Computer, but they were really trying to market it literally as a home computer system that happened to play games in North America. And they actually designed a bunch of... Okay, that's that. They actually designed a bunch of computer components in the style of the final NES system, but they designed a keyboard and a cassette player for loading programs. If I didn't it happened to load me already on the Wario mouth and mustache, or if not, I don't think I would have gotten that. Now I had NES before this, but I was at the mercy of whatever games happened to be available, so a lot of the games that I was finding at at flea markets and thrift shops happen to be the newer NES games. So I never got to play Balloon Fight until after I first played this. Oh, shucks. So that several moments of the game C, I think, of that Balloon Fight game, that micro game based on Balloon Fight, was actually my first experience with anything related to Balloon Fight. I knew about it because of the trophies in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Okay, I only had to shoot one. Because if I had to shoot... There we go. If I had to shoot all three, I definitely would have lost that one. Now this is something, because... Yeah, but I actually got to see I think the only existing... Gotcha. The only how he takes his tentacle and is like, sort of paws at the ground like, "Aw, I'm sad." It makes you feel bad. If I was only one frame away from losing that one and having my balloons pop, that looks like a Trapinch from Pokemon, just saying. Not one of my favorite Pokemon, but it does evolve into one of my favorite Pokemon, that being Flygon. Fire! I love that. I love these little sound bites. Okay, I just went for it, because if I hesitated, I would have lost anyway. How? I don't understand. Wait, do I? Alright, wherever you're going, Tofu, I hope it's someplace you like, and that the rest of your day goes as smoothly as can be expected. This game is bad. And yeah, thanks for dropping in, Tofu. Alright. I don't think I've ever even seen a Super Scope before in person. Oh, shucks. And we're out. Oh, I definitely won't have a problem. Let's see if we can beat 10 of these in a row. Jeez. Getting to the double-digit high score. Because this is not easy. I mean, that one's just jamming the A button. You can't lose that one. There we go. Alright. It needs some sheet. The snail... some of these characters, you only spend a few seconds with them, so they do a good job in the way they move and the pixel art. Oh, you bum. Doggone. Alright. Making the characters really endearing for the several seconds you have to interact with them. Okay, that was quick. Let's give this another go. Yeah, that quick, you already have to dodge three barrels. There we go. If I had waited, I think that was the last opportunity to even match them up like that. Yay, I think I got 2 in? Yikes. Yeah, this is not easy. And I probably, on my own, would probably have never played this mode. Oh, I was like... Okay, I got in by like I was frames away from missing that, but I got it in. Got it. Next Tiger Woods. I love how that game is like, it's not NES tennis, but it's similar enough to pass for it. That is not an easy minigame when it gets harder. Like, this warrants... If I was seriously going... Oh, my goodness. If I was seriously going for the high score in this, I would probably be worth it to actually practice some of these minigames. Now, after this, I want to take a look at the grid. And I think the grid is where you can see all the different minigames that you have unlocked. And when I look there, I'll be able to get a sense of what percentage of the games I've actually unlocked. Because since playing already, I believe I've... Those types of minigames, the logic-based ones, give you twice as long to solve them as the other ones. So that's how... I have to know, when I look at those, I have to immediately go straight to looking at the sidebar to see which piece is going to be next, so I can match them up quickly. I mean, even when on a hard level, the Super Mario Brothers ones are difficult because those are not based on the actual physics of Super Mario Brothers. It's its own thing. It just looks like Super Mario Brothers. It's not... Gotcha. That was very literally one frame away from me. Okay, did it. Got it. I had to remember for a second whether or not the ship has sort of that naive scrolling. I feel like I didn't even have time to get far enough away to hit that, to get that in time. Hey, but we did get a new high score. Wow. Gotcha. I mean, I don't know. That looked kind of like a deflated pufferfish. I think that crane or whatever is about to have a bad time. Oh. Did not go as I hoped. Got them all. Not that I get anything extra for that, but... Yeah, I don't know. I guess you only have to shoot one, because it doesn't say... I don't think the thing says shoot all or anything like that. I don't know. The dancing guys at the end of that game, Microgame, always do it. They're just like, okay. That's fine. That's... I don't think it's... Not that I cut meat that often, being a vegetarian, but I don't know if it's... I don't think it's that easy to cut through a big, thick steak like that with the type of knife they're using. I mean, if it has a serrated edge, I guess, but I just think of that as like a butter knife. Oh! If I had went ahead... I thought I wasn't going to get the first mirror, so I wasn't ready to... I thought I already lost it, so I wasn't ready to follow up on it when it turns out I didn't lose it. I feel so bad trapping that guy, but he's so fun to look at and interact with that it's still fun playing the game. Yeah, I've never actually seen one of those the Super NES bazooka thing before. I've never actually seen that in person. And what, Yoshi's Safari? Well, having never even seen... Having never even actually seen the controller for it, I never really... I guess, well, I never had the chance to play the game. I wonder... I don't know if it's any good. I never even looked at gameplay of it. I know that the Koopalings are involved somehow, and I think that the Yoshi Safari is the last game with the Koopalings in them until Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. And really, after Super Mario World, the Koopalings didn't appear in any Mario platformer until New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And the funny thing to me is that at first the Koopalings, like when they first people were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the Koopalings are in it. What a throwback when they appeared in Superstar Saga. But New Super Mario Bros. Wii was the first platforming Mario game they appeared in since Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. But now people are sick of them. Like, people are like, oh, the Koopalings, waste of characters, I don't want to see them, stop putting them in things. But yeah, it's easy to feel that way now, but hey, second place. But back when they first appeared in Type Z, there we go. Type Z, sounds like a good name for a mecha anime. That was, yeah, when they appeared in Super Mario Bros. Wii, that was the first time they'd appeared since 1991. Alright. I think I will take off my sweater, because now it's actually hot. Went from being really cool in here to being very hot. Take some water. Now let's spin. Well, actually, first let's look in. Let's look over in. Where is? Oh, here, grid. I just want to look at what games we have. Oh wow, so there's still a lot. I think you have to play the respective modes to unlock these games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 games there. Yeah, there's still a lot of these games we haven't even seen yet. I have played through this before, so there's only one mini game missing there. Like, wow, like half of these microgames are still missing. We've unlocked all but one of these, and then for sports, you know, I was just watching digital. We've unlocked all of these. They're only 12, not counting the boss. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what we're gonna play next. I'm just setting my timer now. We're not gonna start it till we start playing. Okay, we have to go to interact. That's what we have to do. Ooh, oh, we almost got. Okay, so remix number 2. So that's this one up here. So we're not getting. I don't think you can unlock games in the remixes. So, and it's kind of funny how this character, he starts off having his own unique genre, that being sports. But then for the other games, he's just kind of used to represent the remixes of the previous batches of games. I'm just trying to get my earphone in there good. Now, my actual audio in my ears is barely a whisper. There we go. Yeah, it's barely like a whisper, so if there's any problems with the... There we go. This should do it. There's a minigame like this in Mario Party 1, but the screen is much longer than what could be seen. You have to just glance at it really quickly. So I very rarely won that minigame in Mario Party 1, even though, to be fair, I only rented Mario Party 1 2 or 3 times. So I didn't really have a lot of opportunity to become really intimate with it. Whereas with Mario Party 2, I have that on the Wii Virtual Console. I played it a whole bunch. But Mario Party 1, it's because of the problem with people using their hand to the palm of their hand to rotate the joystick. Nintendo didn't want to put that on the Wii Virtual Console. Oh, I missed it. I thought I had the dance moves down. Okay. Pinch 2, pinch all 3. It's been a year since I've actually had. Oh, I thought the crane went back and forth. Okay, guess not. Just barely got that on there. Yeah, it's been years since I've had a bowl of edamame. Oh yeah. And I remember people not even knowing what edamame was. It's like, ew, you're eating beans? That's so weird. Or just a whole lot of things I grew up with that people thought of as being so weird when I was younger are just pretty normal now. I just remember how surprised I was when you could order edamame at Dave & Buster's as an appetizer. I used to go to Dave & Buster's. I used to go there a lot, really more for the food than the games. I mean, I'd go there by myself. I'd go there with friends, but even with friends, I really wasn't that into the games, because a lot of the games are ticket redemption games, which I only really like a limited number of those types of games. Or multiplayer games, and they were often not the kind of games I was especially into personally. The only real classic arcade game they had was, they had one cabinet with Galaga and Miss Pac-Man. I like regular Pac-Man more than Miss Pac-Man, just because I tend to like the originals more so than variations. I like the... for all the reasons that Miss Pac-Man is probably... I think they're... Oh, you can't tick tally off. Oh, I was right anyway. I meant... I thought I... Well, it was... Okay, shucks. This is already, for sure, my high score in this. But what was going on with Dave & Buster's, I just didn't... I preferred... Well, they had a Miss Pac-Man and Galaga cabinet. I don't like Miss... For all the reasons Miss Pac-Man is probably an objectively better game than Pac-Man, are also reasons I don't like them. I don't like the maze changing. It's more difficult. I like it being easier because I'm not that great at video games anyway. So, but Galaga I really like. So Miss Pac-Man and Galaga, that combo cabinet, was one of the only games... What? I'm not even sure what happened there. This one's easy to see where to hide at. Yeah, so Miss Pac-Man and Galaga was one of the only retro arcade games they had at Dave & Buster's, and at some point they moved it out of the game floor and moved it up to the lobby and used it as a fundraiser for some charity. Oh, shucks. And that does it for our first run. That took about 5 minutes. We definitely got the high score. Because the first time we played, we only got up to 20 because it only lets you play 20 and then it takes you to the boss. Then once you beat the boss the first time, it just sends you to the next stage. So, oh, I didn't mean to exit out. Oh, wait, we unlocked a new minigame, I think. Or something. We unlocked something. It goes to the thing like as though it's downloading. Oh, Wario Sheriff. We'll have to add that to the wheel next time we play. Next time we spin in about 10 minutes-ish. Depending on how well we're doing, because if I'm in the middle of a game, I will play until I get the game over. This game is cool. Which actually does reflect my genuine feelings, but if it wanted me to insult the game, I would, out of respect for the game itself, I would go ahead and diss the game. Yeah, so they moved, and what, there's the Miss Galaga Pac-Man one. They ended up moving that to 6. You should be able to untally if you want. They had for a while they had Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong, and those are both, I mean, the original Mario Brothers. I don't know if, oh shucks, I misjudged that. I don't know if the NES Mario Brothers is like this, but I know the arcade one, like if you're used to modern, like Super Mario Brothers type physics, the physics are nothing like Super Mario Brothers, and there's this horrible slidey effect, like Mario's shoes are covered in melted butter. So just the physics and all the horrible sliding makes Mario Brothers, and my first time playing Mario Brothers was actually on the Game Boy Advance when it was bundled with Super Mario Advance. And it was actually my first exposure to the idea that Super Mario Brothers was a sequel or a follow-up of sorts to a previous game. So I really did not know that Mario Brothers existed until 2000 when it was bundled with Super Mario Advance. Was it 2000 or 2001? No, it was definitely 2000 that Game Boy Advance came out. Okay. Now, yeah, so And oh yeah, so that cabinet was also bundled in with, it had Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's just doggone hard, especially once again, if you're used to modern Mario physics in like Super Mario Brothers, or even the Game Boy Advance version of Mario Brothers. It is just it is just very difficult to get used to it. Mario actually has realistic, falling death. If only a few falling from heights that you fall from just in the course of a normal jump in Super Mario Brothers will kill Mario and Donkey Kong. So Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong are both very difficult arcade games. Shucks. Had a chance to get a life back there. Or at least we leveled up. So those are really the only retro arcade games they had. So it just wasn't... The gaming... I played Skee-Ball at Dave & Buster's more than I'd ever play the actual arcade, the actual video games. They just weren't... All the modern... light gun shooters and the motorcycle racing games. Even, I was happy when they got Mario Kart at Dave & Buster's. I don't like lousy. 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 People don't think of it. Lousy literally means that it is infested with parasites. Because a louse is a parasite. And it's not a term you hear all the time. You'll see, sometimes you hear people say, oh, you're a louse. Like, you're just sucking my blood. So to say something is lousy is to say that it is infested with parasites. Get back here. Get back here. Get back here. There we go. Got it just in time. But people, to say lousy, to say something's... Oh, I see. The cards keep flipping to try to hide. Okay, I see what's... Because the first time I saw that happening, I was very confused. And yes, I did lose that mini game there because I was thinking about that March of the Penguins movie narrated by Morgan Freeman. I was thinking about Morgan Freeman. Oh man, second place. It was only a couple points away from getting our personal best there. Let's see how it goes this time. Yeah, I cannot believe I do my checklist, and of course I forget to turn the microphone on as I start the stream. Yeah, so getting back to Dave & Buster's. Come on, come on. Yes, got it, just in time. So I really played Skee-Ball more than actually played the video games. Then when they got the Mario Kart cabinet, I was like, oh cool, Mario Kart, I'm gonna love this. It does not play at all like any Mario Kart game on an actual Nintendo system. Like, the physics just feel bad and slippery, and I just wasn't feeling it, sadly. And the Luigi's Mansion game, that felt, it was good, but I just didn't feel that engrossed in it. So it's kind of lame, because Dave & Buster's should be and there's Pac-Man Tournament Edition, but if you don't have friends to play, that Pac-Man, no, it's Pac-Man Battle Royale, that giant one with the bar stools you could sit on. And that should be right up my alley, because I like Pac-Man, but unless you have friends to play it with, it's not that fun. And plus, I'm just annoyed, Pac-Man Versus is such an excellent game, and there are so few versions of it available. They made a version of it on the DS. I should have actually counted those. They just look like more, so I just assumed there were more. Unless I'm talking about arcade games. But Pac-Man Versus deserves its own cabinet. I mean, heck, there's just the fact that Pac-Man Versus never appeared on the Wii U. When if there is one purpose in this universe for Wii U to exist, it would be to have a version of Pac-Man Versus. I had Pac-Man Versus, and it was the couple of times I played it with friends, it was such a blast playing that game. Excellent game, Pac-Man Versus. And that game, and then the sad thing is, that game arguably ruined Nintendo's E3 2003 presentation. The reveal of Pac-Man if you did not know this, when Pac-Man Versus was demoed on stage during Nintendo's E3 2003 media briefing, it was received much in the way that Pac-Man that Wii Music would be later on. It was treated as the laughingstock of E3 and used as arguments as why Nintendo is slipping, why they need to give up on consoles, why GameCube is gonna be the next Dreamcast and it's probably gonna be Nintendo's last system. I mean, Nintendo even 4, 5, 6. Even in the presentation itself, Nintendo. Oh, there were 5. Even at E3 2003, Satoru Iwata was specifically refuting rumors that Nintendo wasn't working on that GameCube would be their last system. I mean, it was not a good time for Nintendo, and people really didn't. The gaming media, E3 2003. I think Nintendo's E3 2004 was the first time they streamed that for the public to watch live on the internet. But 2003, we have full video of it, but it really was the last E3 that was kind of in a smaller... I think it was held in a conference room or a conference hall in a hotel instead of a theater. And it really felt more like it was actually for the, you know, the gaming press, the people mostly... I'm just dazzled by these snakes to the point where those are some cool snakes. That is a cool little sprite, by the way, but I just could not figure out what to, I could not figure out where... Oh, at least we got 3rd place. Yeah, I just could not figure out which one was actually different. But, well, they were pushing connectivity between Game Boy Advance and GameCube, and it was being accused of being a gimmick. I mean, it was a gimmick, but I mean, it was being... revolting. Like, people were arguing Game Boy Advance GameCube connectivity as reasons not to get a GameCube, as reasons why Nintendo was losing touch. And the impression... Because of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and because of 4 Swords Adventures, which required 4 Game Boy Advances and 4 link cables, people got the idea that most connectivity games needed 4 Game Boys and 4 link cables, when the only game that really used... Those were the only 2 games that actually used that. And so they demoed Pac-Man Versus. People, I guess they didn't understand how it worked, so there were a lot of really sardonic takes on it as, you know, being one of the worst moment of Nintendo's E3 presentation that year. And I remember talking to so many people who were saying, oh, Pac-Man Versus would have been cool, but you need so much extra equipment. You only needed the GameCube, you needed 1 link cable and 1 Game Boy Advance and the game. You only needed 1 Game Boy and link cable. Definitely the blue ones. There are definitely more of them there. So once we lose out on this, we're gonna move on to the next category. Shucks. And I'm not trying to lose deliberately just to move things along quicker. There we go. There's the white cat. So Game Boy Advance GameCube connectivity got a reputation of being really expensive and complicated when most of the games only needed 1 Game Boy and link cable. And even for the games that used the Game Boy... that used 4 Game Boys and 4 link cables, like Crystal Chronicles and 4 Swords Adventure, the impression I got was that Nintendo probably intended Game Boy Advance owners to own a Game Boy to GameCube link cable as a standard accessory, kind of in the way that Nintendo could assume if every Game Boy Advance owner owns a link cable, then it's not so crazy to have them do the daisy chain them together to do the 4-player Mario Brothers or Mario Kart. Oh, okay. Whoa! I cannot take a single hit right now. I need to concentrate for a minute. Got wiped out. And there I got distracted by something in real life, so excuse me. But we do get to keep playing. This game is groovy. Yeah, Game Boy Inspect. Yeah, I never played far enough along that I never saw the variation where one of the Game Boys is turned upside down. And I could not wait to get... I was so happy when... At one point, I actually planned to... I had the purple Game Boy Advance back in the day, because that was the flagship system. But being a self-conscious high school student, I could not wait to... Well, what I wanted was to get... I wanted to import a black Game Boy Advance from Japan. I can't tell... I can't tell quite what the difference is in that colored snake with the other ones. So, I've failed that minigame, that version of that microgame, every time it's come up. There we go. I mean, he's happy, but how is he going to get out of that space? I think that's the first time I got the variation where they walk back and forth, so... Good thing I was, not too comfortable there and was ready to, walk backwards. Oh. Alright, and that does it for... Hey, we tied second place. So, let's see if we unlocked anything else. No, we didn't. So let's go to the wheel. And interact. And we need to add Dr. Wario. There. We need to add Sheriff. And we spin. Let's see what goes on here. Oh, we're gonna play jump rope for a while. It's the first time we got a non-micro game option. So I'll start the timer. Let's see how far we can get. Because this... Well, Jump Forever is what it's called, but it's the jump rope game. Our high score is 76. We might not have quite... Oh, excuse me. There we go. Might not have quite the high quality commentary here, because this one requires some focus. Now, the faster it goes, it'll start to actually play the theme from Dribble and Spitz's microgames. Just want to take out one of my headphones there. Yeah, as you could hear the vocals starting to come into, it become more regular. Get a sense of, I don't know what they're saying because I think the lyrics are in Japanese. Shucks. Actually, what I want to do, I'm gonna hang it there. Alright. That's just for me trying to figure out how to do these headphones in a way that I'm comfortable with. There we go. And I actually, for some reason, well, I just realized two things. The first is that these are the girls. Aren't these the girls from the nature minigame, the two ninja girls? Okay. I just need to get something real quick. I just need to get an earplug. Excuse me. Oops. Excuse me, I have weird ear issues, and I'm sort of funny about some things. But let's resume from where we were. Okay. Did I somehow turn off the sound? Alright. There we go. There we go. Actually, not quite. Now I just have to put this one in. Sorry for all these weird real-time adjustments, but it's just gonna irk me, and I'm not gonna be able to concentrate on jumping rope. Okay, there we go. This should be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, but what I never noticed is that the girls actually are opening their mouths, which makes it as though that, I guess the idea is that they're actually saying the lyrics to the song, but this is Dribble and Spitz's theme, so is the in-universe lore thing supposed to be that the ninja girls are actually the ones who sang Dribble and Spitz's theme? You know, I might have to take this one off the wheel, just because this is not the greatest game to play. I can't really provide very good commentary because I have to focus so much. So, like, because yeah, I don't like being quiet like this. I like talking, and I like talking about the game, but this requires so much focus. After this, I'm gonna probably switch to a different game because I don't know if 15 minutes of this is gonna be that fun. I mean, at least fun to watch because I really can't commentate much on it. I'd like to get to 76. That would be nice. You could hear the rhythm of the song now. Oh, I was so close. Okay, let me try again. You're already a third through the intended playtime of this game, so I'm just timing the rope. I'm pressing A when the rope crosses Wario's teeth, is what I'm timing it based on. We're getting there, we're getting close. Oh, I was only 3 points away. It was the pressure at the very end that ruined it. This is my last time. Yes, I'm not putting you through this much longer. Alright. That was not the best game in the world for streaming purposes. Let's spin again. I know I kind of cheated. But for the sake of... Okay, we're going to be playing some of the 9-volt games. Whew, just need to stretch for a minute. Excuse me. Wowie. So... Now this is more like it. I love how he just goes to school. Why is there a dinosaur on the way to school? A giant dinosaur statue. I'm not gonna think too much about this. Yeah, I have a feeling the whole Dr. Wario thing just started when they were just making the... programming that microgame and realized, hey, we've about halfway to programming a basically functional version of Dr. Mario, so let's go for it. I actually did not play... My first F-Zero game was the GameCube one, because that one was... Well, it was the first... It was on clearance. Well, it wasn't on clearance. It was on, like, Greatest Hits, so it was only, like, 20 or 30 bucks. So I was able to get it real cheap, even while GameCube was a current system. I think I got it in 2004 or 5. And I just remember playing the story... That was a great game to play multiplayer. Like... I remember bringing the GameCube over to friends' houses, and they were just blown away by how fast it was. These are the kind of friends who had the impression that GameCube was less powerful than PlayStation 2, because they would compare, like, say, Wind Waker to Final Fantasy X and think, oh, well, the PlayStation 2 is just more powerful. So, oh, we're at the boss already. So just the sheer speed alone, and plus it was just a great racing game, and the only types of racing games I really ever got attracted to were like kart racers like Mario Kart, and then those futuristic sort of hovercraft racers like F-Zero. Well, the only game I really played from that series being F-Zero. What was it? Oh, the one on GameCube, F-Zero GX. And then I played, Wipeout Pure on PSP. I remember loving that. That was one of the few games I had for PSP, because I was there on launch day for PSP in North America, which was, I think, March 2005. Because even though, or I think it was March or April 2005 the PSP came out. Because I was Team DS in terms of, I supported Nintendo's vision for DS, and I wanted it to do well, and I wanted it to prove the naysayers wrong, because the conventional wisdom was that PSP was obviously just going to crush DS, and the way that the PlayStation 2 crushed the GameCube, and that would be the end of Nintendo, because, well, they've already lost to PlayStation in the home console space, and once PSP comes out, Nintendo's going to lose their handheld dominance, and Nintendo's not going to be a viable console hardware manufacturer anymore. And so I wanted DS to succeed. I wanted the DS to beat the PSP from that perspective, but I was not at all anti-PSP. I supported the system. Oh, come on, that should have counted. Yeah, I supported PSP from when it was first announced. The idea of having something with performance rivaling the PlayStation 2 in the palm of your hand. I remember the first renders of the PSP before they even actually properly revealed it. Yeah, I got distracted by my timer there, excuse me. I remember the first renders of the PSP before they even... Oh, I still got second place, even as relatively poorly as I did. There we go. I don't know how I was missing when we were playing in the fast mode, and it would say, like, oh, there's, you go by, the duck would go by, I'd shoot it, I'd swear it was in my crosshairs, and it would just say, oh, you lost. So I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, I was never anti-PSP in terms of just wanting the system to fail. I was pro-DS, and I wanted the DS to succeed in this. I just wanted it to succeed, because it was so annoying hearing that constantly, like, oh, the DS is gonna, the DS is gonna be destroyed by PSP, you're living in denial, the DS is just a pathetic stopgap gimmick system, no one's gonna make games for it, no one's gonna buy it, the PSP is gonna dominate. So, I didn't want the PSP to destroy DS and Nintendo. I did want the PSP to succeed, though. I remember the first renders of the PSP, before they even showed the actual hardware at E3 2004, about 6 months to a year even before that, there are renders of what the PSP was going to look like. It was... I mean, the final system ended up looking notably different, but I just remember looking at that, it's like, that's the future of portable gaming. We're going to have these high-performance handhelds that'll be doing things. I mean, just the idea of polygonal 3D on a handheld system. The GBA flirted with it and did some amazing things, but the idea of having PS1 or N64 style games, I mean, and PSP was kind of skipping a generation, going straight for PS2. I supported it. I was there on launch day. I got the bundle that came with a memory stick duo. It came with a disc that a UMD. It came with Spider-Man. It came with the sleeve to put the PSP in, and it's easy to forget now what an incredible impression the PSP made, holding something in the palm of your hand that you could browse the web on, watch movies on, and this is in a pre-smartphone age. I mean, there were things that were called... Oh, I lost. Oh, okay, no, I won. It said game over, so I thought I lost. Yeah, there were smartphones at that time in 2003, 2004 or 2005. But what those were, as I remember, were basically just Palm-style PDAs with a telephone keypad on the bottom. And people were saying, yes, smartphones are going to revolutionize the way we our daily lives. But what a smartphone was... How did I hit the duck's neck in that one frame? Did I hit the gap between the duck's neck and the rest of its body? And so it didn't register the hit? Because there's no reason it shouldn't have registered the hit. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm trying to play it like I'm playing the game where you have to catch the flying squirrel or the airplane in frame. And it's not a matter of it being in frame, it's a matter of my crosshairs being over it or not. There we go. And I think I'm just playing this the wrong way. I think is what's going on with the... Now I wonder, did they localize that Rob? Like in the Japanese version, was it the red Famicom version of Rob? That I actually do have the amiibo there on my computer, and now I'm gonna lose because I'm an idiot and want to show off the amiibo I have sitting on the top of the computer. Yes, I do have a desktop computer that that you put the monitor on top of. Probably one of the last ones of those that they ever built. Oh. You've been downed. I didn't realize that. I have to get used to... Oh, we tied for second place. We have 5 minutes before we spin again, so let's see if we could beat our... Let's see if we could beat that high score. Yeah, so that was my first playing... Yes. Okay, the reticule turns... So I ignore the duck. Well, I not ignore it, but the reticule turns red when it will register the hit. So that's what I'll keep my eyes on from now on. Type 7. Yeah, I never played F-Zero on Super Nintendo, but the way the camera works on that and on Mario Kart, I just don't find it very appealing. The way the characters, your racer is always exactly in the center, and then the world rotates around it, something about that kind of... It just is unappealing to me. It doesn't quite make me dizzy, but... Shucks, I'm already off to a bad start. Yeah, Yeah, I'm guessing in the Japanese version, there was a Famicom and a red Rob instead of an NES and a gray Rob. But the Japanese version... I mean, the American version says Robot Block, even though the game would have been called Stack Up here. But it's funny because they made the Rob specifically for the North American market, yet they didn't... I guess in Japan, when they made the Rob and the 2 games that went with it, they never localized the title screens. If you open up Gyromite and Stack Up, there's actually a converter inside the cartridge, because the board for the cartridge is it's identical to the ROM and internals of the Famicom version. And the Famicom versions of Gyromite and Stack Up were called Robot Block and Robot Gyro, but they never, because the ROM is identical to the Famicom version, even though the box art says Gyromite and the box art says Stack Up in North America, the game, when you turn it on, it still says Robot Block and Robot Gyro. So I guess it's only appropriate... Oh, come on. I'm talking about Rob gaming history and the Rob, and I got distracted. Oh, now this actually might be my last run with WarioWare Inc. for a while. And the only reason I'm really going back to these games is just so that I can... There we go. The only reason I'm really going back to these is just so that if something goes wrong with my stream, it won't be a loss of, my first time playing a new game. And... maybe I'll do some de-rusting for Sonic the Hedgehog in my 3rd stream. But tomorrow I'm going to play Mario Party 2. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do... I'm sorry, I was quiet because I'm thinking of how I'm going to do the Mario Party 2 stream. I'm going to start with Trial Mode, which is a quick play... mini-game thing. And from there... Now, I actually did play Wario Clash when it had just come out, because my friend had the Virtual Boy back when it came out. And I played Mario Clash, and I was just kind of disappointed that there wasn't something more like Super Mario Land or Super Mario Well, really, my only experience with Nintendo... As far as Nintendo, I had Game Boy, so I knew there were Mario platformers that were longer, whereas this was just kind of an arcade game. Not that I thought of it that way, I just thought of it as just a single screen game, I guess. And so I was just wishing there was something more like Super Mario Land or Super Mario Land 2 on Virtual Boy. And the closest thing to that was, well, we got the Wario Land Virtual Boy, and hey, we got full lives again. Nice. I think we definitely got a high score at this point. Yeah, we definitely got the high score. I just ended the timer there because we got a minute. Yeah, we've got a minute left on the timer. But we'll just see how far we can get in this. We have 4 lives and we've already beaten 3 boss modes. I almost lost that because once again I was expecting it to use Super Mario Brothers physics. There we go. Oop, there we go. Now, yeah, Yeah, not only just something about the way the camera rotates in F-Zero and in the first Super Mario Kart. I just don't like it that much. I don't find that appealing, especially in Super Mario Kart where half the screen is dedicated to the map at all times. So I feel like I'm losing screen space for nothing because I don't want to see the map. I just care more about just playing the game. I'd rather the game be full screen. Oh, doggone. There, got him. That was close. Oh. Okay. 1 life. I think okay. If we beat this, we'll get another life. Yeah, I forgot. I think this was just called the Ultra Machine, is what this was called. This ball pitching thing. And I kind of think, if I remember correctly, it launched wiffle ball type things. Yeah, I think the pitches were trickier. Okay, we have 2 lives left. My pet's name is Shag. So are these things called Shags, or are they called Frums? I don't know. That's the second time I made that. The reason I missed that is because I was trying to jump like in Super Mario Brothers, of course. But I missed it. The last time I got that minigame, I missed it in the same way, where I accidentally dodged one of the Goombas. I had to go back and get it. I was fortunately able to. Oh. Let me get some water. Okay. Alright. So we definitely got a high score there, because I never beaten 3 boss. Okay. 15. Let's exit out. And go over to our wheel. See what we're gonna play next. Interact. Alright, these games require a lot of focus, these other games. Maybe I shouldn't have included them. So, what I'll do, let's play. Okay. Let's play 5 times. We're gonna take 5 runs at this, and then we'll... And this does remind me a lot of a PC game, a DOS game on PC that I got traded to me on a floppy disk in the 90s. It was a shareware game, so it's kind of meant to be traded on floppies. It wasn't a don't copy that floppy type situation. Because a lot of those games, they would send you the disc around, and they intended for you to for people to trade it via floppy disk. And if you liked it, you could send in a check to the person who made the game, and they would usually send you a fancier version of the game that you weren't supposed to trade via floppy. Yeah, it was called Paper Plane. It was about a man who made some kind of invention, and someone stole their invention, and you have to try to get they're going to the patent office with the stolen plans, and you have to try to get the paper airplane to the patent office, and the paper airplane has the patent application for the invention on it. So, actually, I didn't advance down to 4. Yes, I do have a D20 here that I'm using to keep track of how many times I played. So 5, 4. And no, I don't even actually roleplay or anything like that. I just happen to have a D20. You know, just... I guess if you're the certain kind of person, you just somehow end up with multi-sided dice in your life, even if you don't roleplay. Yeah, so you're trying to get this Paper Plane game. It's a side scroller. It's not like this, but just the factory style. I almost got a high score there. Well, I was like 10 away. 4, 3. I'm not counting that. That one doesn't count. 3. That was just sloppy. But as far as I know, I have an old IBM PC that the actual one I played on back in the day. As far as I know, the copy of it that's sitting on there is I've never found the Paper Plane game online, especially the name of the game is just Paper Plane. And I haven't even booted up that PC since 2003 at the absolute latest, probably 2002. So I really don't even know if that PC boots at all anymore. Because if that's an unarchived DOS game, I'd really hate for it to be rotting away on my PC that I haven't hooked up since. Oh gosh. Okay, this is our last go. I'm not gonna talk at all. I'm just gonna try to beat the high score. It's very hard not to talk, but because when I'm live, I'm thinking so many things I want to talk about, but it's hard. I have to focus. Ooh. Okay. Alright, let's spin. Oh, no. There we go. Let's see what we come up with. Alright. I'm gonna spin. Let's remove that one. I should have been removing these as I go along. Let's spin again, because we just played Nintendo. Strange. That's a new one. No, no. That's what we want. So let's go over to Mona. And this is the first time I've played these games. This is the first time I've played this since our first run through of the game. I mean, I played her microgames and remixes and whatever, but I never played the actual mode that is unique to her. And it's... Oh, We were trying to get away from that, and now it's back. Someone should get that girl a tissue. Yeah, that's one heck of a braking system on that trolley. I don't know if I ever played that game before, so that's definitely a new one that we've added to our overall library. I forgot that this was the boss here. Uh-oh. Oh. You can just change your outfit. That's the... I didn't know what I was supposed to do there. I guess I was supposed to cut it only a certain amount, because I haven't played that minigame in years. So I really forgot what the intended goal of that is. Okay, let's see how far we can get. Because if we get past... Getting past the boss even once automatically puts us in high score territory. So... Oh wait, we already beat the... Okay, excuse me, I forgot that... I just forgot... I'm used to playing the normal mode. Okay, I'm just thinking back, like, when... If you lost the boss, you had to keep playing the boss. Yeah, so just by even if you lose the boss, you still get to keep going as long as you still have lives left. So now we're trying to be 27. Let's see how far we can get. There we go. I mean, just the fact that there's a living, like a face underneath the plate, and the plate is a living, inanimate object is... What am I supposed to... I don't know what I'm supposed to do there, because when I cut this hair till he was bald, I lost. But then when I only cut it part way, and I still lost? Oh. There we go. Little microscopic Fantavision there. Okay. I just love the idea, like the audio in that microgame. It implies that there's like an audience watching this person thread a needle, like they're going for a Guinness record or something like that. Okay. Oh, I just have not had good luck with... Oh, excuse me, I did not mean to do that. Just have not had good luck with that microgame. But We did get 3rd place, and we, why is... Are those toy cop cars chasing her? Because it appears... I don't know if they're just in the background or something, but it makes it look like she's... Looks like they're people in, like, little... What, Power Wheels police cars chasing her. I mean, what would happen if that face on the plate started eating the spaghetti? Where would it go? That's one of those things you're not supposed to think about, like with the faces on like Annie and Clarabelle and Thomas, like where do those faces go? Like, do the people inside see the back of the face? I actually did ride on that type of coach back on the Bluebell Railway. Yeah, I actually rode on the type of coach that they used to depict Annie and Clarabelle in the TV show. They're very, very old, and they have no shocks on them, so they're just really bumpy, and I mean, it's awesome. It makes it sound like I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. This is, I mean, I went out of my way. When I saw those coaches out on the back of the train, I was like, I want to ride on those old little 4-wheel coaches with no shocks. It's just like, boom, 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 boom. You just really... Oh, sorry. I started talking about trains and got distracted. Go figure. There we go. Wow, I'm in the zone. I nailed it. I nailed it, literally. I guess something about... Gotta take a little break. All their clothes look like work clothes. There we go. Yeah, right in that. What am I supposed to do for that microgame? I do not understand, because no matter how much or how little, I think the further you get, the more modern that train car looks. If only it was that easy to fry a perfect egg like that. I love fried eggs, but it's been very difficult for me to nail them and get the perfect... Oh, there we go. Only frames away from not getting that one. Why is... That's kind of creepy. It's like the person is on fire. I just noticed that. There we go. And it's a little tricky because you have to consider both sides of the page when it says to bookmark page 12. I deployed the airbag. What's... Okay. At least I thread the needle. Oh. Alright, let's see if I get it right this time. Uh-oh. That face, even though it's just line art, that face has so much personality to it. Oh. Ooh, bonehead. That dissed me. Alright, we have time for a couple more attempts at this. There we go. That's more like it. I'm just really satisfied. I'm just relieved that we're closing in on 2 hours since I went live, and not a single drop frame. So there's not much else I can ask for. I hope... Well, I guess it wouldn't. Because my camera isn't on the table that I'm playing on, so I was worried for a second that... Usually I have the controller on my lap, but having it on my hands on the table... I was concerned for a moment that maybe I was shaking the table and causing a problem with, you know, the camera being able to get a good view of my face, but... Okay. Oh. Yeah, this current run, we have 3 minutes left. One way or another, this current run will be... And once I finish this, I'll go get something to eat. I don't know what I'm supposed to do for the haircutting minigame. Okay. After this, we're going to play this on the grid. We're going to see what it actually takes to win that minigame. Because I want to see what the deal is. Oh. I oversteered and caused it to roll over the hole. But we got the fireworks to go off, so there's that. Oh, I didn't... Well, I mean, that's a more realistic depiction of what being in a crash and the airbag going off would be like. Because it's not gentle, it's kind of trying to hit you, as I understand, it's basically trying to cancel out the force of you being blown forward by blowing you back at an equally extreme rate. Alright. Okay, we got it. It was a little dicey there for a second, but we got it. I don't know. For someone so interesting and wacky, even for a WarioWare character, her intermission scenes aren't all that interesting. What am I supposed to do? Oh. Okay. I mean, losing that one minigame distracted me so much that... Alright, we're not spinning the wheel this time. What I'm going to do... Well, first we go to the grid. Go into Mona's games. Where's the haircutting game? There we go. Sloppy Salon. Clear, 20 points. Give the customer a nice close cut. It's the latest style. Press A to cut. Oh, I thought the first time when I cut their hair bald, and I'm very sure it gave me a fail. Or maybe I thought I lost a try when I did that. And maybe I was conflating the barber in the game world failing at giving the haircut with me failing. because the game is sort of giving me negative feedback by showing the barber crying and the barbers who I was playing as. Okay, we're not gonna go to the wheel. We're just gonna take... We're gonna see how far we can get. Actually, I do want to exit. I want to see what our high score is we're trying to beat. 255. Oh, 225, not 255. Let's see how far we can get, and then at the end... after this, I'm gonna call the stream. Because this is really, ultimately just... 1, 2, 3... I really mostly just wanted to test the internet connection. Tomorrow I'm gonna play Mario Party. I'm gonna play... I'll play Trial Mode, which is sort of a quick play map, a game board map, where you're just playing mini games. There's no real theming or event. Well, the theme is kind of like you're running on a track in a stadium, like it's a sporting event. But there's no theming to the board like Pirate Land or Mystery Land or Horror Land. So it's sort of a version that's quicker to play. We'll play through that, and then I'll make a wheel where we'll choose which version, of the main adventure maps to play. And we'll just play through, I think, a standard play. No, let's play one full play. We'll just play through from beginning to end a full 50 or... I don't forget if it's 50 or 60 turns, but we'll just play through one... I don't know how many turns we'll play on trial mode. I'll have to do some, ironically, trials of the trial mode to see how long those take to play through. Because I don't want to spend more than a half hour on it. Actually, let's... I lost some mini games. I shouldn't have lost them because I was running my mouth. So let's... Since this is... We're going to call the stream after this. I'm going to give you an honest... A good... Yeah, as the ducks is going across it, there's a brief gap where it actually goes out of target between the head and the neck. Because I see the reticule go red, then it turns... Red means it will register the hit. Then it turned white, and then it turned red again. So there actually is a trick to that. That's what was going on when I was losing that game so many times before. And we got him. Yeah, I thought it was more like that, where as long as it's in that box, you're going to get the credit for it, for getting the shot in. A shot with a camera rather than a shot with a gun, which is... I would prefer to have a camera than a gun, as long as I wasn't, like, being stormed with, like, zombies or something crazy like that. I'd much rather... Then I'd rather have the gun, but when it's cute little animals, I'd rather have the camera. Now, if it's some kind of big, scary animal that's trying to jack me up, then I'd rather have the gun. But the thing is, I would not be in a situation in my normal life where there would be some kind of big animal that would want to come at me. So... Oh, how did I miss that? I was focusing on that, I just missed it. I don't know why they made Wario's sprite so gigantic compared to the other Excite Bike racers in there, but... Well, it's Wario, because it's his ego. He just made himself larger just because... Because he's full of himself. I don't know why, I lost track, like, my thumb was, like, wiggling on the D-pad in a weird way, like I wasn't quite ready for it. Oh, I thought I'd have time to duck under there. But I still have 2 more. Now there should be a mode that's like this, but but also includes a random boss minigame. Like it should be like this, but it includes a random boss minigame, and each time you fight it, each time you encounter the boss, you should have a chance to get a life back. Here, there are no lives. I mean, it's supposed to be easy, but there are no bosses. Because there are no bosses, there's no chance to get an extra life, so... Yeah, that was one of those mind games where... That's definitely... The left one's definitely heavier there. I remember when Urban Champion came out on the Wii Virtual Console, all these angry little kids... Oh, come on, it was just the tip of his tail. Oh, come on, there we go. That was out of frame, but whatever. There we go. There, cinch, which is just as well because there was only one. Yeah, that can be a tricky minigame because you have to keep both pages into account. You should be severely injured from all that fire. You should need EMTs rushing to Z. There we go. Now, like, those games are tricky the first time you encounter them because it's hard to know. Yeah, it's hard to know what's actually going to happen. No, I don't think you actually get... If you touch the ground, you don't lose that minigame. What happens, you just have to avoid the meteors, is really the key to that minigame. Like, as long as you don't touch a meteor, I think it does credit you. That music there, it's just interesting how kind of... quasi-epic it is. You know, there's something about they just do a good job in only a few seconds of setting up the mood of this little world you're going to hop into for just a few moments of gameplay. You know, just that there's cats in the rain and you've got an umbrella. And the music and like the colors they use and it just do a good job setting up the context of these little worlds. I only have one life left, so we're doing single credit from here on out. I didn't chop off his tail like last time. I like how it doesn't even say like to do anything ridiculous, just pinball. Just pinball, you know what's going on. There. big. I don't know, the way that jump, when you make the jump, it just looks like it looks like the weird Mario Man kaiju monster thing. It looks like his foot is clipping through the boulder that you jumped over, and every time I think I've lost the microgame, but it does credit me with the win there. Like, just in that light, that snot-sucking, sniffing minigame, just the lighthouse and the city skyline in the background, they just built so much into that little tiny world there for those few moments. Down left. No, it feels like the ones where I lose... What's going on here? That has nothing to do with anything. Okay. I thought that was... Oh! I did get distracted because I wanted to just check my messages to make sure that it wasn't UPS, because I see me peeking out my window. I am expecting a package. We didn't even place third, but that was a good run, I think. And let's see. Let's do 1 jump rope, 1 skateboard, 1 paper plane for the road. 1 paper plane, 1 skateboard, 1 jump rope. Just 1 of each for the road. Because I don't think I'm going to be coming back to this for a while. Unless a lot of people ask me for it, maybe I will. Ooh. Okay. It's real dicey. Okay. It was scary for a second. Because I'm only going to play each of these once, so I only have 1 chance to see if I could get to 76. And it doesn't account for your time as well, but I really care more about survival than time. Oh, doggone. If I made it through there, I would have come pretty close to... Alright, skateboard, or skating board, according to this version. Let's see how far we can get. Our high score is 113, so... You know, if they used, like, the sort of generic graphics from the microgame version of this, I actually think that would have been pretty cool. Just a cool aesthetic for how this game looks. But if, I keep calling it 8-bit. 9-volt does have a skateboard, so it would make sense for out of all the cast of this game for him to be the star of this minigame. But just the sort of cyber, sort of silhouette with no real background sort of aesthetic. It's an aesthetic that reminds me of the covers of a lot of old now, but of a lot of blank VHS tapes. When you buy them, they'd have sort of a grid pattern and this funky cyber thing going on. Now this scene here, what this makes me think of is in Balloon Kid for Game Boy. The sort of, I think the second area is kind of a maritime themed place, and this kind of reminds me of the background of what that would look like. And I died talking about Balloon Kid for Game Boy, which I would like to stream someday. I've never beaten that game before. I actually did not know that there was a sequel to Balloon Fight until 2007 or 8. It's sort of last game of the day, so I'm going to try to see if we could beat 76. Oh, wow, how come I have 2 different games, both this and the paper plane game, I have a high score of 76. Guess I'm being patriotic for 1776. Okay. It's funny because we had already been fighting the British before July 4th, but July 4th is when we formally declared independence from the British Empire. Me being an American. I don't know if there's anyone else out there who's not American, but yeah, I had a good time playing. You know, I think I don't want to stop playing. I want to go ahead. Let's give easy mode one more try, and then tomorrow afternoon, because this is I started. It's actually in the PM now. Shucks. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's give easy mode one more go. The easy mega mix thing. We'll see how far we get, and then tomorrow at maybe 1 or 2, we'll go ahead and I'm gonna play Mario Party 2. I'll spin the wheel. We'll play Marathon. I don't want to play Marathon for more than trial mode. Excuse me. It's called trial mode. I want to play that for more than a half hour. And when we're done with that, yeah, I'll see how long the turns take. I want to play trial mode for a half hour. Then we'll play an adventure board game map for the full 60 turns. And then the day after that, I'd like to de-rust Sonic for Game Gear. And then when I go back into my normal streams, I'll do a stream where I'll do a 100% run of Sonic for Game Gear. And then, when I'm done with that, when I'm done with Sonic for Game Gear, 100%ing that, we're going to switch to the Master System version, which I've never... Well, I mean, if you look at my VODs, I played it for a couple of minutes, but that was a whole mess. I really don't count that. But just seeing me go from being so competent in Sonic for Game Gear to really kind of being definitely out of my depth with the Master System version, which I do not have much experience with, is going to be quite the experience. But so no go-backs. We'll play through this until we lose all our chances, and then I'll send you off to see you streaming, send you off to there, and then tomorrow at probably 1. Let's say 1 o'clock. 1 or 2. Either 1 or 2, we'll play Mario Party 2. And then tomorrow night, probably around 9 or 10 maybe. 8, 9, or 10. Because I usually have a more defined schedule where you know what to expect. But these 3 in a row, I usually don't stream this consecutive days, so this is going to be the first week I attempted that, because this is only my 14th stream. But I'm really just kind of doing the streams to test my new internet connection, make sure I'm not having drop frames and stuff like that. Because my 13th stream, the drop frames were so atrocious that I had to quit. Well, I had to put down streaming for a couple of weeks till I could upgrade my internet. And these 3 streams are really just to test things out. And maybe say goodbye to some of these games for the time being. Come on. Oh. Okay, I think my controller might be running out of batteries. Alright, my controller's running out of batteries. So I think that's a good point to call it. Now let's see, who is streaming out? Who's streaming right now? Is anyone streaming now? Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. Tomorrow at 1, 2, or 3, I'll go ahead and stream Mario Party 2. And then on the day after tomorrow, I'll de-rust Sonic the Hedgehog for Game Gear. Maybe even play a little Master System. Not likely, we'll see. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.